Alright, what's happening everybody? It's your boy Akeen and welcome to the Pro Football exclusive College Football Blog. Here to recap championship week of the college football season. A lot of great matchups in this championship week, but there was a little bit of the controversy in the BCS standings. Now before I get to those results, I need to talk about last week's key matchups. Start between my Texas Longhorns against the Baylor Bears. Baylor quarterback Robert Griffin III was accounted for 4 touchdowns as the Bears killed Texas 48-24. Now, based on his performance, he pretty much made his Heisman Trophy statement, RG3 I'm talking about. At the end of the game, he said that he believed that Baylor has won their first Heisman Trophy winner. And I think he did based on this performance. Also, the fact that Andrew Luck and Trent Richardson were not able to play this week. And I think Robert Griffin III took advantage of that opportunity of being in the national spotlight and getting his Heisman Trophy voters to believe in him. Now, according to ESPN, Andrew Luck and Trent Richardson are actually under Robert Griffin III in the Heisman standings, so which means RG3 is the Heisman frontrunner. But anything can happen later on this week in the Heisman Trophy ceremony. But I will talk more about that Heisman Trophy later on this week, as well as the other awards in college football. But going back to these games, heading into the Big East, there was a little bit of an interesting situation for the Big East standings. Louisville and West Virginia also both clinched a share of the Big East title, but West Virginia needed Cincinnati to win in order for West Virginia to get a chance to make it to a BCS bowl game. And Cincinnati did beat UConn 35-27 due to a good defensive effort from the Bearcat defense, stopping running back Lyle McCombs to under 50 yards rushing the football, and that was going to be key to that matchup, and that's why the Bearcats won this game. Now, based on this result, Cincinnati did clinch a share of the Big East standings with West Virginia and Louisville. So, which means going to the BCS standings, actually West Virginia had the highest rank between the 3 teams, and West Virginia will get that automatic BCS bid because of those results. MAC championship, great MAC championship between Northern Illinois and Ohio. Both these teams were pretty much neck and neck in that second half, in which Northern Illinois erased a 20-point deficit, winning 23-20. Quarterback Chandler Harness was accounted for 3 touchdowns, 250 yards passing in this matchup. He's pretty much the MVP and the difference maker in that game, especially in that second half when they rallied back. Conference USA championship. The biggest upset this week, Southern Miss got into Houston 49-28 due to a great quarterback effort from Austin Davis, who outplayed Case Keenum. 4 touchdowns for Davis when Case Keenum only threw for 2 touchdowns. It was a great defensive effort, putting pressure on those receivers against the Cougars for Southern Miss. And this was a great championship for the Golden Eagles, getting their first Conference USA championship win. And this was a great victory for them, upsetting the Houston Cougars, who was actually ranked 6th before this matchup, but they are now ranked 19th because of this loss, and they will not make it to a BCS bowl win. Great upset for Southern Miss, and they deserve that championship. Going to the ACC championship, I picked Virginia Tech to beat Clemson, but Clemson's defense showed up just like they did in their match before, holding Virginia Tech to just 10 points as Clemson won 38-10. The big key to this matchup for that defense for Clemson is that they stopped David Wilson to just 32 yards rushing the football. Quarterback Taj Boyd going to the offensive side. Taj Boyd had 240 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, but he did have some help from his playmakers. Andre Ellington, who had 125 yards rushing and a touchdown, and Sammy Watkins had 80 yards receiving and a touchdown alone for himself. And now the Clemson Tigers are now the ACC champions, and for the first time since 1991, they're going to a BCS bowl game, and I'll talk about that tomorrow, as well as the other BCS bowl matchups. Going into the Pac-12 championship, Oregon easily beat UCLA 49-31. It was a lot closer than most people expected, mainly because Oregon pretty much let back in that second half. The game was pretty much won at the end of the first half, and the Ducks didn't really care too much. No way UCLA was going to come back on them, and that's why UCLA caught up going towards the end of the game with just 31 points, and this was a great win for Oregon, who has a BCS bowl bid, the Rose Bowl bid, and they were going to play against the winners of the Big Ten championship between Wisconsin and Michigan State. What a great offensive showdown between these 2 teams. Now, remember that I said that the key for this game is for Wisconsin is that they needed to have the ball in the hands of Monty Ball, their star running back. I said that he needed at least 25 to 30 touches in this game. Well, he had exactly 30 touches in that game, a couple 27 rushes and 3 receptions with 4 touchdowns total. He was the MVP of that game, MVP of the Big Ten Conference in my opinion, and he is one of the Heisman finalists, and we'll see him in New York. It was a great matchup for Wisconsin, and they ended up winning 42-39. They will play Oregon in the Rose Bowl in the BCS Bowl games. Going back to the Big 12 Conference, Oklahoma State and OU was pretty much playing for the Big 12 championship. Oklahoma State flattened OU 44-10. Great defensive effort, and they pretty much torched them in the passing game, just like how OU lost the other 2 matches between them and Baylor and them and Texas Tech. Texas Tech and Baylor combined for over 800 yards passing, and that's what Braden Weedy did. Took advantage of that secondary of Oklahoma and torched them with his passing game, and they will make it to a BCS Bowl game, and they won their first Big 12 championship. Congratulations to the Cowboys. Now I'm actually going to go back to the going to the SEC title. It was pretty much dead even in the first half between Georgia and LSU, but a great defensive effort by team leader Tyrann Mathieu, who also committed a couple turnovers in that game, caused the Georgia Bulldogs to commit turnovers, and they ended up pulling off the 42-10 victory, mainly because of their defense. Now they're still undefeated, and they will make it to that BCS National Championship. Now it's time for me to head to the BCS standings. I'm actually going to start from 10 down and not from number 1 to up. At number 10, Wisconsin makes it back to the top 10. Number 9, South Carolina with 2 losses this season. Great job for them. Number 8 is Kansas State. Coach Bill Snyder, he's pretty much the Big 12 Coach of the Year and probably the National Coach of the Year. Great comeback for the Wildcats. They had a great season. Colin Klein had a Heisman type season, an MVP type season. He had a great year, and they deserve to be in this top 10. Number 7 is Boise State, even though they had 1 loss. Number 6 is Arkansas, even with those 2 losses to Alabama and LSU. Number 5 is Oregon. Number 4 is Stanford. Number 3, here comes the controversy. Oklahoma State. They were just 0.008.86 points behind number 2, Alabama, and at number 1 obviously is LSU, which means Alabama will play LSU for the BCS National Championship. And this was a big controversy between Oklahoma State and Alabama, and a lot of people scratched their heads when they found out the results of what they had in the season. Between playing against teams over 500 wins, 500 percentage wins, actually Alabama was below Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beat 7 teams over 500, while Alabama beat just 3 teams over 500. Against ranked opponents, Oklahoma State beat 4 teams, and Alabama beat just 3. And Alabama still got that notch over Oklahoma State, and a lot of people scratch their heads based on their results. I really do not understand this BCS system. This does not make any sense whatsoever, and there actually is more controversy in these BCS bowl games, which I will get to you tomorrow. But heading into the BCS standings, Alabama pretty much robbed Oklahoma State in my opinion. Yes, I'm going to answer everybody's question. Do I think Alabama and LSU are the 2 best teams in the nation? Yes, I do that. I do believe that Alabama and LSU are the 2 best teams in the nation, and they do deserve to play in that national championship. But come on, 7 wins for teams over 500 for Oklahoma State compared to just 3 for Alabama. That pretty much says everything, and I think this BCS is BS. It does not make any sense whatsoever. I really believe that Alabama ranked over Oklahoma State only because it would be a better match between LSU and Alabama in a rematch. A lot of people believe that Alabama is the only team who can beat LSU, but we do not know that. I think Oklahoma State can beat LSU. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But Alabama did lose to LSU compared to Oklahoma State, who did not get an opportunity. But Oklahoma State, they did win the Big 12 championship. Congratulations to them, and they will make it to a BCS bowl game. But I do think they got robbed for that BCS national championship. Now, for this week, there's only one game to watch this week, the Army-Navy game. I will give you guys a quick preview of that, but also go back into these BCS bowl games for tomorrow's video, talk about these BCS bowl games and who got robbed and more controversy and that. And on Thursday night, you will see the College Football Awards for the remainder of the week between Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow and Thursday, you will see more videos talking about these College Football Awards and who I believe deserves to win each of these awards, as well as the Heisman Trophy winner. But I'll catch you guys all this week to talk about the awards as well as the Army-Navy game. Thank you for watching today's vlog from Pro Football Exclusive. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.